Good morning and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and I'm so happy to be here in the warm, in the dry, hanging out with my friends. So come on in and let's do some doodling and have a cup of tea together and put the world to rights. Come on in. Bit dull here in Surrey. I know, Wayne. But come on in. I thought it would be really nice to finish that beautiful bouquet of flowers that we've been drawing together. So we'll have a little recap, just in case we've got any new friends to the party. Jilly is in the building with yourselves. If you have any questions or you want to tell me anything, and I miss it on the chat, then please just ask Jilly and she'll pass it on. Jilly says the sound is good. So let's have a cup of tea and calm down. It's been a little bit manic here this morning at Clarity, but that's my fault. I've been like a whirling dervish this morning, full of good energy. I feel revitalized. The workshop on Saturday, the Glastonbury Tour workshop that a lot of you did as well, it really reset me, you know, like a little bit of a recalibration. I really enjoyed the process, even though I knew it. I really enjoyed it. I loved hanging out with Jazz and with yourselves and with Sue downstairs. It was just a real great feeling, you know. So that was nice. I don't know how many of you were there, but I know Jane was. Morning, Jane. It was just delightful. And if you didn't do the course live, it doesn't matter. You can, the good news is, you know that it's absolutely brilliant. It's loaded. It's ready for you to participate. If you would like to join, you can subscribe online, still available to purchase. And I think if you want a kind of a reset, it would be the best thing. And if you did do the course with me on Saturday with myself and Jazz, you know you can always go back and try again. We had such a good time. It went so well. We were so full of joy afterwards. And we produced some gorgeous artwork. Many of you will have seen some of the participants' artwork on Facebook. She's really proud of it, you know. And it wasn't too bad, to be honest. It wasn't, hi Debbie, it wasn't so strenuous, you know. 3 hours in the morning, part 1, and then 2 hours in the afternoon, part 2. And we finished almost on the button at 4 o'clock. I think we stopped at about 4:10. But of course, you can go in any time now because it's recorded and tracked for you. It's taped. And if you have signed up, you can go back any time and time again. If you think the process needs refreshing, you can do that. And if you want to go back and join in, then we'll send you the kit. You subscribe like a product. We send you the template and the kit. Both color palettes will send you, so you can pick which one you fancy. Be good. So it's good to have your company. Morning, Ken. Morning, Jeanette. Yeah, nice. Debbie Powell as well. Yeah, I'm glad to see you all. Jane and Sue, you know, it's I came in this morning, and perhaps it was off the back of the Saturday online course, but I just thought, the weather's awful. It's grey. It was dark when I came into work. You're navigating the potholes. It's drizzly. People are tetchy behind the wheel. And I just thought, do you know what? It's an inside job, folks. It's what is going on between my ears is what dictates whether I'm happy or unhappy. All this external stuff, I've just got to bat it off. I can't control the potholes. I can't control the Wayne. And if I could, well, wouldn't I be famous? You know? Oh, goodness, who's had a tumble? Just seeing who's had a tumble. Catherine. Afraid I spent the afternoon in A&E having taken a tumble and broken my left wrist. Are you kidding? Oh no. Please tell me you're right-handed. I do hope that you're feeling better today. Honestly, life just turns on a sixpence, doesn't it, guys? Well, on behalf of everybody in the shack, we wish you a very speedy recovery. Dear Catherine. Yeah, lovely to see you too here, Ruth. Yeah, so this morning on the way to work, I thought, do you know what? Spring has sprung early here at Clarity. We're going for it. And this is something this afternoon you'll laugh because you'll realize we put this in place that quickly. I love that. I love the team. I can walk in and say, I've had an idea. And I know that their eyes roll and they think, here we go. But it's all done. It's all put in place. And spring is sprung officially at Clarity today. Yes, it is. High energy, bright, beautiful, colourful, flowers. We can't control the weather, folks, but we can control how we react to it. How many times have you heard me say that? So we're going to carry on with our bouquet of flowers today. Say it with flowers and clarity. There you go. That's the strap line. And we're going to launch a fabulous, the complete set. We're going to launch the beautiful floral elements this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Yes, we are. We were going to meter it out over the next few weeks. No, we're not. I said it's spring. We're doing it. Let's cheer ourselves up because everybody else seems hell-bent on trying to make us miserable. So we circle the wagons. We hang out together. We smile. Hey, Sonia, look at all these lovely people. Yeah, lovely. And Zara. And now that's something I can get behind, spring. Absolutely, Zara. I totally, that's exactly what I think. And when you look in the garden, it's trying so hard, even though officially it's March the 20th. March the 20th. Even though it's officially not till March the 20th. There's so much rain and the temperature is pretty mild here. And so those little flowers, those little shoots are starting, aren't they? You know, I noticed looking out the kitchen window yesterday, I noticed the buds on the trees. They're starting. And on the bushes by the garden, by the window. And then I saw the snowdrops and I can see those bluebells. They're trying, you know, you can see the little shoots coming. Feeling really down, so need something to perk me up. Debbie Goddard, come on in. Sometimes, there you go, even the roses are shooting. Got a few daffs and crocuses flowering. There you go, keep smiling. You know that old adage, you got to fake it to make it. Come on. We can fake it to make it together. There you go. Snowdrops and crocuses are out already. I know, Alison. So rather than ignore them and look at the grey skies, let's say, oh, looky, looky, looky. Beautiful flowers. And we'll fake it to make it and we'll keep smiling and we'll look for the joy and we'll look for the positives and we'll bat off the negatives. How's that sound? Frog spawn on the 25th of January. I know. Love the canvas on the shelf behind you. Is that the ginkgo set? Oh, you mean this one? That one there? Did you mean this one? No, it's not a ginkgo set. That's a print that I pulled. You know, we've got a print room at home. I know. I'm a very lucky girl. And I pulled some prints with real leaves. And this is one such print. I'll show you. There you go. So it's actually, let's come in a bit closer. Where is that? camera. I'll show you. I think this is what you meant, isn't it? You see? This is a leaf print. Isn't it lovely? This is done with a proper printing press. Look, I'll come in really close so you can see. Look at the detail on that. So you could try and do that with a jelly plate, but you don't get details like that. Check that out. It this way so you can see the different colours as well. See the different nuances. It's really beautiful. But these are all flowers from the garden. These are all leaves from the garden, see? And then I've trimmed it. We actually, Jazz and I, we did a course in Brighton and learned how to do this. And then we designed off the back of loads of these prints. See, I love that area there. So what we did was we took really peach pieces of beautiful prints that we took, and we made a lovely selection of floral, of leafy cards, like proper printed on the Pinky Grey website. Have a look at pinkygrey.com and you'll find a beautiful series. Many of you will be familiar with them, but maybe you don't know this. We made the most gorgeous cards out of proper prints, not manipulated. The colours aren't put, we haven't put filters on them. The way they are is exactly the way it came out printed, which is really exciting. Yeah, so I hope that's the one you meant. Let me just pop that in. I made the background a little bit artier because of the workshop on Saturday. Yeah, so that's why I put in an alcohol ink one up there. Then my leafy print there, and that's actually a leaf. Check that out. That's a real leaf. I know, with a mask, just showing off now, but that's actually a leaf. You can see it if I come in close, and then I used one of our masks. Look, and a little flash of white Posca pen, or maybe I flicked white paint at it. Isn't that nice? So that's an actual leaf, though. You can see it here. Delicate. Yeah, nice, eh? I mean, how often do you find a leaf that size in your garden? We've got a tree that sheds this kind of leaf. I mean, you know, if push comes to shove, I'll start selling them. But it's quite a challenge to dry them, and so that they don't curl because they're so big. Yeah, so there's that one. And then the alcohol ink one. Oh, I really enjoyed doing this. It's one of those ones where you blow through a straw and you pull it around and you guide it. Isn't that lovely? This is Yupo paper. It's synthetic paper. And then you use alcohol ink and rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and then you blow through a straw, or you can use one of those pumps to move it. I got all lightheaded because I was using a straw, but I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Something you'd find to me, it's like something that you would find in a dentist's waiting room or in a doctor's waiting room, something like that. Yeah, so if all else fails, you'll start seeing my artwork crop up in the local dentist's surgery. Yeah, there you go. Right, are we going to crack on then, my friends? Come on. And another sip of tea. Jilly's still there. Camera's good. Pencils, artwork, friends, tea, happy days. Spring is sprung early at Clarity. And there's a lot to be said for faking it to make it. If you're feeling despondent, it's difficult to be miserable if you're smiling. It is. Just keep smiling at me. Nobody's watching you. You're all watching me. Look. As soon as you smile, I don't know, it just works. Try it. Humour me. Smile back at me. Right, now let's have a look. we'll have a little look at where we were and where we've come from and what we did last week and where we're going today. Very, very easy. Say it with flowers and clarity. You're going to be sick of hearing that by the time I'm done. Right, let's have a look. So the first thing we did was we took a bit of tracing paper. Let me find a piece of white paper, copy paper, so I can put it behind. Right, so you can see it better. Okay, so we took a piece of copy paper, and the first thing we did was we drew a wrap. It's quite far away. Let me come in a bit closer, friends. You had to go to the post office and got chatting, Hillary. Well, here's the news. Keep smiling because you have a post office in your town. Yay, I know. Edenbridge hasn't got one now. Mad, isn't it? Right, so we did a wrap. I'm just reading trying to catch up with the comments as I'm going, but it's flying through. So I think I'll just concentrate on what I'm doing, and then I'll read through. I could see that Alison Forster had a bad day. Keep smiling, Alison. Right, here we go. So you did the wrap. Then you folded this over. Check it out. This is the paper that goes around the bouquet. And then we drew the flowers afterwards. Yeah, here's a smaller one with little smaller flowers. See, bigger wrap, smaller flowers, smaller wrap, bigger flowers. Up to you. I could put that in there, put that in there. Interchangeable. Do I feel, or can I feel a stamp set coming on? Has the Pope got a balcony? I love that we draw together. I love that we draw together, and then it gives Jazz and me something to hang our hat on. So then we did this, right? And then this was the clincher. I drew a little person up here. Right? I drew a little person on a piece of scrap there, right? And I tore her off, and she was a little triangle girl. And then I thought, how about that? And as soon as we put that little girl and wrapped her arms around the bouquet, it was like, yes, what a game changer. Look, I know. Now tell me, that wouldn't make you smile if you got that fabulous little image on a card. Because it's on a bit of tracing paper, you say, oh, all right, that way around. Or you could put another one. We've got loads of these little triangle people now. You could put a boy on that side, a girl on that side. I know. Those balloon people. Do you remember we looked at the balloon stamps on Friday afternoon? And I said they're brilliant for this because they're holding the balloon strings. They've always got, all of them got one arm up. So you could, have a play. She'd look amazing holding the bouquet up in the air like a jubilant. Yeah, nice, eh? So, and then once you've done that, and you've done that, and you've done that, you've got your 3 bits, then you put it all together and you've got your artwork. There you go. So now we've got that, haven't we? So we drew that. This is easy, okay? Then what we're going to do, we turned it over and we transferred the lead to that side, didn't we? So that we knew that we could then transfer it to a card. So then we took a piece of white card and we pop it on there and then we transfer the artwork, right? So now we've gone back over it and we've transferred the lead on that side of the graphite to here. Now that's when we changed the game, because usually what we do at that point is we take a black micron pen, these art pens, and we ink up and we make the lines black. So it's like a stamped image and we've blacked up the lines. And I was like, what about if we want to make a piece of artwork that's not blacked up, that's not got line art, black line art? And I was thinking, well, if we use the polychromos, like the pencils, And then we colour them in. As soon as we go with the rubber to get rid of the graphite, we take out that colour too. So I started thinking what we got in the cupboard, what we got in the cupboard. And this is what we did last week. We came up with these colours, the Perga colours, which are in the Perga colour, the big collection of 30, these ones. But these particular colours are very light. And I thought, why not? And I tried it out and it worked. Why not use these? And then you could buy them individually, right? And then lean into the colourway, colouring in. So that way you can rub out all the pencil lines, but this stays in place. So you've got a much, much lighter line art that doesn't rub away, and then you start colouring. And that's what we're doing. Perga colours work a charm, says Jane. Absolutely. So the colours, just to refresh your memory, number 29, number 1, number 2, number 13, and number 4. I think there was another one as well, but that'll do. Those 5, absolutely bang on, right? So what I did was, now fast forward. So I've got my pencil mark on there. Let's just, and then I transferred it, and then I went over the pencil lines, got it on a piece of stencil paper with, oh, which one? That one. With number 4, because I decided that that was the kind of colour that I wanted to go towards. So you can see how the line art is there, but I've rubbed out the pencil lines, and I really did rub out a lot before I started colouring in. So there you go. That's where we're up to, and that's where we're going to continue now. How does that sound? Would she be able to get that bouquet through the door? Oh, no. Backwards, maybe. She'd have to reverse in with them. Beep, 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 beep. Right, so I thought, let's do some colouring today. And calm it, hey? And keep smiling and fake it to make it. I know, I do, I understand. I am an empath. I get it, you know. And people are poorly, and people are sad, and people are not enjoying what's going on anywhere. And it's that time of year. And you look at the sky, and the sky is bleak. I know. I live here too. But it's an inside job. That's what I call it. It's an inside job. I'm not going to let outside, external circumstances affect my happiness. Who's with me? You know, it's a little switch in your head. You can either let what's going on outside really mess with you and make you unhappy, and then once you get into that spiral, it's like a vortex. It starts to move and it gathers momentum, and then everything comes to the party, and I'm overweight, and this, and my head looks awful, and. Park it, because it's just going to wreck your day. So, just enjoy what we're doing now, and look at the positives in life. Not glass half empty, glass half full. And if you're with me, I'm not going to let external circumstances affect my joy. I know there are going to be things that are pain and illness, and if your husband's unwell, I understand. You know, I'm not being flippant. Please, friends, you know I'm anything but flippant. I get it, right? But just smile and be and accept it is what it is. You can't fight it, you can't change it, but you can change the way you react towards it. Okay. Anyway, there you go. Sermon's over. I just could feel it when I was coming in today. I thought, cool, I know how they feel because it's how I feel. Right, let's get colouring. Let's get going. And let's just get grateful. It does, you know, those of you, if we've been in the shack for any period of time together, you've heard me go on and on and on about gratitude. Then we're going to take that one, and that one. I'm going for those lovely pinks, and I may even, just because I can, but I'm not sure yet, I might pick a darker colour. But let's go with these. This is good enough. And I've got my piece of card so I can see, and I've taped down, because I'm going straight onto a folded card here. So now I'm going to go light, medium and dark. I'll show you what colours I'm using. So they're part of our polychromos packet. The beige red is in there. Excuse my coughing. That's in there. Then we've got, second one is coral. And then we've got rose carmine. So if I go to my little stickers, which I peeled off the packets that we sell, rose carmine, summer, and what did I say? Coral, winter. See, this is really useful, really useful indeed, because that way I can, and I'll tell you what else is useful. I know I'm repeating myself, but I like putting them out in like all the yellows together, the reds. I'll tell you what it does do as well. It gives me a sense of control. I can't control much, but I can control which order I put my pencils out. I can control how I load the dishwasher if Dave's not around. I can control, I can control loads of things in my life. Actually, I can control whether I do the dishes in the sink or in the dishwasher. I can control, come on, think of all the things you can control. It's not hopeless. Right. So let's have a look. We'll come in a little closer, friends, and then we'll have a look what we're doing. And then we're going to, I don't know if I want that great big box there. Let me just pop that over there. That's better because I'm a lefty. Right. So we're going to add light colour first. Right. Little small. This is the beige red, which is a little bit of a funny name for it. But so we're just going to add beige red to the flowers. No rush. Right, we've done that. Let's get these ones down here. A little bit of just a little bit of colour. There you go. To the flowers. We'll do the leaves in a minute. We'll do her dress as well. And so that's the first colour. Let's keep it going, friends. It'll be all right, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right, number 2 colour. Second colour down. This is darker, isn't it? That's darker. So if we don't press as hard, there you go. It's not quite as dark. Good to know. So now we're going to add a little bit. We'll start at the top and we'll add a little bit of depth in where the flower's inside. Okay. So just add a little bit of depth in there. Not too much, just around there. A little bit of a... Can you see that okay? Right. So we're going to go all the way to the top with the... all the way to the top with the lightest colour, and then we'll just add a little bit of depth on the inside, there you go, with the second colour, leaving a little bit of light up here, yeah? The thing about these as well is, of course, if you don't like what you've done, just get a bit of depth along there, just on the bottom. I'm not sure what these are. Oh yeah, these are these tall ones here. Right, Let's get a little bit of shadow going. There you go. That'll do. And then flowers. Let's just get some flowers going. Get spring out, hey? This is a smashing way to do this. Right, so in here, you're going to get a little bit of contrast, a little bit of depth in there. Not too much, but what it does is if you put a little bit of depth along there inside, excuse me, it makes this outside look more dimensional. Do you see? So let's have a look. I'm going to cough. I've got a tickle. So what I'm going to do is switch the mic off for a minute so that I don't cough into my mic, and then I'll come back. Okay? I just need to have a good cough, and I don't want to do it in your ear. I'm back. Right, that's better. Just needed to clear my throat. Yeah. So here, and you know, the thing about those blending nibs as well, is that they really smooth out the colours as well. I'm so happy that we're using polychromos now. There we go. So just add a little tiny bit of shade, and it will. I don't think there's anything quite like colouring in when it comes to calming down. Mind you, saying that, I have to say, Saturday was magic. Paper cutting. I think what I really like as well is that you don't use much. You know, what we're doing here, it's the same as what we were doing on Saturday. You're not using a great deal. It's not a big investment. It's not super expensive, you know. You haven't got to buy a kiln and, you know, massive investment. It's the simplicity of it, isn't it? Just a little bit of ingenuity, a few pens, time. I mean, Saturday was just a pair of scissors and a glue stick, really, and a few bits of paper. Really nice to do, you know. There you go, that's a nice one. Bit of shadow. You don't want to overcook it, but this has got a little bit of a shadow there, let's say. See how I'm making the petals? Can you see that? You will in a minute when I go next level depth. Let's do these ones. This is starting to look really nice. See, if you add a little bit of shadow on that side, yeah, that one there. So that's a fold now, see? And if you don't like what you've done, which is like the same as saying I don't like what I've done, you can just rub it out and start again. Right, these ones are quite good. Let's have a think for a minute. So these little flowers here, okay, easy. A little bit of depth along underneath, light on the top, and a little bit of colour in there. There we are. Yeah. And like I say, if you don't like what you've done, you could just go again. Now let me have a think about this one. So this is going to be wrapping over there, but yeah, okay. That makes sense. That's one of those. And this one here, now where's if that's the, you just got to check what you're doing. This is coming out over the top of the bouquet of the, let's say. So this is part of the flower here. I'm looping in the flower. Oh, hello. Now where did I put my, bear with me. I've got all my stash still from Saturday in my box. Very relaxing. Okay, so let me just, I'm going to take that line out there. just lighten that up a bit. Right, let's have a look. So if that's the case, then I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to bring that one in there like that. Okay, good. There's another little one. There's one there. I'm not that keen on this, what I'm doing. But then again, it's only a tiny little flower. Is it going to make the difference? Am I going to lose any sleep over it? Is it life-changing? No. Right, so we've done that, and then we've got these little ones. Okay, so let's just add a few little speckles of... I'm going to go in with the depth. This is the second one, just to add a little bit of colour there. Don't worry, we'll get some more colour going. How you doing, friend? Are you chatting or are you colouring in with me? Are you chatting or are you colouring in? Right, and then we've got the next, the darker colour. Now, I'm tempted to say, right, that before I go in, let me just see. We've got to get that centre of the flower sorted as well, haven't we? See, this is a sharper one now. So I'm going to use the sharper pencil, the darker pencil, to get a little bit more, you make it pop, the depth. The centres of the flowers. Now, that's a good one. I'm going to ask you what you think. Yeah, I'm just coming in with a little bit of depth. It just gives me a little bit more direction then. Just a little flick, feathery flicks. So this is going to be nice, actually. See, and you can always lift colour out again. That's the magic of these, isn't it? So it's going to come around like that. Let's put a little bit of depth in there. There we are. That's good. I like this one. Always have your favourites, don't you? I spoke to my mum last night. She did make me laugh. She really enjoys the rugby and she loves the Winter Olympics, you know, the sports. And she said, I am going to write, when I rang her, she said, oh, I love it. But I'm going to write to the commentator. Every time someone went down the slope and did the jump, he goes, oh my word. Oh my word. And so she was so funny. She said, I'm going to write. He must have a broader vocabulary than just, oh my word. Because apparently the athletes were doing phenomenal jumping and I didn't watch it, I don't know. But oh my word. And my mum was in stitches about this. So everything we said was, oh my word. And maybe you heard it too, because Dave did. He was watching it. I was working on the March newspaper. I was in my zone yesterday doing that. And it was just so comical. Oh my word. So I don't know if you heard it too. She's a scream. She's such a smashing woman. There you go. Yeah. And she's got a real thing about, she loves sport. She loves the winter sports. Snowboard jumps. Yeah, so Jilly's saying she heard it too with all the... Right, so I'm going to go with the larger ones now and just add a little bit of depth around. This is the lighter colour now, just to see if this will work. Yeah, it's going to. So I'm just adding, I'm just putting a bit of a backdrop in on the large, see? So that's going to be that. Yeah, that'll be nice. Okay, just swirls. It's going to be lovely when it's done. Yeah, snowboard jumps. That's what it was, Jilly. Thank you. I'd forgotten what it was. Now let's have a look at this little girl, and then we'll get to the leaves. So I'm going to dress her in the same colours as the flowers, all tone in tone. Beautiful bouquet. So lighter colour first as an undercoat. That looks good. Eh? Well, maybe make her face as well so she's not pale. Right, and then second one. Now we're going to get some shading in underneath. You see this? It's easy to do, you see. So a little bit of shadow there. We're going to add a little bit of shadow along that edge as well. Lightly does it. And always remember that you can tone it down with a pencil. If you feel you've done too much, or you want to put a highlight in, a white highlight, see, just take it out again. It's really easy. There you go. So we're just going to add a little bit of depth around there, so she's not so... It's lovely, isn't it? Under her arm as well. Nice. Yeah, lovely, eh? Yeah, there you go. And you can draw patterns into her dress, but the main thing is just to get the colour right. She's got dark shoes, and I'm going to go for the pink, dark pink. And then we can decide whether, you know, you could put a little flash of colour, little trim on her dress. So many options, really, friends. Entirely up to you. Put a little bit of a... What about... so it's not so smooth, eh? Let's do that. See if we can get a bit of a pleat thing going, shall we? That looks quite good too. Bit of a pleat. See, and then what you can do is then take it back again. So then you knock it back. See? And that doesn't mean you don't like what you've done. It just means you tone it down. See how effective that is? So you tone it back down again. So you could take it up, you could take it down. I love this. I love this kind of flexibility, really. And there's no pressure. You know, there's enough pressure in the world without worrying about that stuff. So now let's have a look. We'll go to the green flowers. I'm not going to do the paper until I've decided. I'm not going to do the paper until I've decided what colour the leaves and the flowers are. So let's have a look. I'm going to go a little bit darker on the grasses and on the leaves. So I'm just going to throw, which one's this? This is quite a bright cadmium yellow lemon. There you go. Spring is sprung early at Clarity, and we're going for it. I hope you can join us at 2 o'clock. You're in for a real treat. It's going to be a real treat. Got some smashing flowers, stamps coming through. I mean, like proper lovely, and very clever as well. Jazz has been working on these for a while, and they really are marvelous. And they've got a clever spin, which I think you're going to really enjoy. Light, dark. Right, I'm just going to say it out loud. Light, dark. So the darker one I'm using is earth green, yellowish. I don't know. Sometimes I do wonder about the translation. Light green. Okay. So I'm just going to pop that in there. See, in light, dark. I'll go dark there on the center spine and then along the back again. Light, dark, light, dark. And you can always tone the darkness down. A blending pen works really well to tone the colours in. So you take that dark one there, take that dark one there, So you can knock it back with the rubber, with the eraser. You can blend the two colours together by taking the darker colour, or you can use a blending pen. I've got one here. See? And then you can just blend the colours in. This works really well as well. I like using the blending nib just to tone it down. So this one here, for example, the large one, I've got light. This is how I do my leaves. We've done it many times. Light. Then the middle bit, I'm going to go dark. So the middle, I'm going to go here, above that line, that centre line. I'm going to go dark in there. So it's got a bit of a curve to it, see? So we'll go in there like that. And we'll just add a bit of depth on that edge there. Looks a bit stripy, that, doesn't it? But that's all right. We haven't finished yet. Right. So we're just going to take that edge and we're going to bring that out a bit from that corner. And then this one here, so let's have a look. That's that line there. Let's just go through here. This one here, dark, dark, dark. So we'll take that edge there and we'll add that to there. Excuse my head in the way. So you've gone light, dark, light, dark. And I coloured this bit in, but I shouldn't have. So I'm just going to knock that back, get rid of that. That's fine, because that is part of the stems. I've got stems going on here, so I just want to check what I'm doing. There's a stem there. That's a stem for that flower there. Then I've got another stem coming in over the back there, see? Got another stem. So the stalks, etc., they need redefining, because at the moment I've got too many stalks. But you can see how great this is using those poly colours as really good idea, Barbara, even if I say so myself. Right, we can get a bit of green going in there. There's another. She got grasses and all sorts. You can fill this up as well. I mean, I haven't finished yet, but let's just get the basics in, eh? Light, dark on that edge there, and then dark around the edge there again. There you go. That'll work. Makes it look dimensional, you see. Oh, can you hear my tummy? What is going on? Right. That'd be good. Yeah, and then that's light. A bit too light there. That'll be good. And then dark on this side. Okay. I don't know, is anything like colouring in for calming the mind, eh? Right. Okay. Oh my word. Oh, she's funny. Okay. It's looking good. It's looking very nice. And then I can add flowers and depth around the outside. See, once I've got my main flowers in, I can add more. I can add grasses. I can add. So what I want to do now is decide what colour I want for the paper. Now, I would probably use the same colour paper. Let's just put this colour in so we know where we're going with the paper. Yeah. Okay. Because you're not going to use a different colour. You're not going to use teal paper, are you, if you've got lovely rose-coloured. So let's get some shading going. So you've got the layers of paper here, haven't you? Got a bit in there. That's light. Then you've got this depth in there. There we go. That's underneath that. That's underneath that. We've got some depth in there as well. We've got some depth in there. There's a bit of a curl over there. Nice. I'm not going to put any colour in here yet, though, because I still want to... That would be a bit of a sparse... I still want to add some more flowers in there. But now I've got my basis for my wrap. Now I can come in and add a bit more Let's get some depth going on the actual wrap, eh? That's a line. That's under there, because it's paper, isn't it? And you could put patterns on the paper too. Of course you can. You're really enjoying, talk about patterned paper, you're really enjoying the fabric strip cards. Core, the artwork that I'm seeing online. Oh, friends, it makes my heart sing. It really does, you know. I love seeing your lovely artwork. And it's so easy to use and what's really great is somebody will, you know, it's a sharing community, isn't it? So somebody will have a really great idea and post it, and then somebody else says, oh, brilliant, do you mind if I have a go at that? And then they do it. And it's just so nice to see all the different ideas that are coming through. And you see, I don't miss much, friends. I see the sharing. I see how people are saying, oh, this idea was Jane's, or Deborah Wheeler, love what you did. Here's a version of what Barbara did. And oh, what Zara did. And I love that people are respectful of the idea generator, if you get what I mean. People are actually saying, oh, I got this idea from so-and-so. It's not my idea, but I really love it and I'm running with it. And that's so respectful, and well, it's the way it should be in an art community. I'm a member on another page, which shall remain anonymous, but the biggest core they get into it. How dare you take my idea and fob it off as your own? And they get so angry with each other. And I think, well, you know, it's a double-edged sword, that one. First of all, if you post your artwork, I mean, I let go of my artwork the minute I create it. If I want to keep it to myself, which is the opposite of what should be going on, if I want to keep it to myself, then I mustn't post it. It's that straightforward. If I put it out, you know, then it's public domain. That's the whole purpose of this. You know, the idea of my artwork is that I motivate you and get you fired up so that you think, oh, I want to try that. In fact, I'm going to buy those stamps and I'm going to have a go. That's obviously, that's the whole purpose, is to keep you company, get you motivated, inspire you. So on this other page, on this other group, they really get into it with each other. How dare you use my idea? So, well, if you don't want to use your idea, don't post it in the first place. But having said that, the person who is using the idea, it really is respectful to say, I saw this on so-and-so did this, I really love it. Big shout out to her, pat on the back to her for a great idea, and I'm going to use it now. So, you know, it's sort of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. But what's really brilliant in our community is that we have that mutual respect. There's no way I would ever use somebody's idea without saying, Jane, this was Jane's idea. This was Deb's idea. This was Sarah's idea. Did you see what Sheila Metzeler did? What a cracking idea. Tina Morris, blah, 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 blah. That's how it should work. And that's how it works at Clarity, which is great, isn't it? So if I'm showing you this artwork, I'm inviting, it goes without saying, I'm inviting you to emulate it. That's the whole purpose of it, isn't it? Right. And the other thing is, and believe you me, I'm under no illusion here. I also know that there are people that are watching who are much better than me. I don't feel threatened by that. I think brilliant. Love, you know. Of course they are. If I thought for a minute that I was the best, then I'm cruising for a bruising, aren't I? Hey? That takes the joy out of it, because that's a hell of a tall order. That's a hell of a thing to have to keep up. Oh, no, 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 no. Quite the opposite. I come up with ideas. I get good ideas. Of course I do. And that's because I do so much. But I'm a creative, I suppose. That doesn't mean I get all my ideas are born at night in my head. I also spend a lot of time looking at artwork, studying the landscape, thinking about what if I do this and what if I do that, you know, working out a process. But then when I do work out a process, I'm really pleased when it works. Do you know what I mean? That's the key as well. I love it when it works. There, she's looking good, isn't she? See? I remember when Pat was alive, Pat Hosking, and she joined the group every morning religiously during lockdown. I'm going a bit grey now. I am and all. No, I don't mean that. I'm putting a little bit of grey in just to add a little bit of contrast so it's not all too pink. See, so I'm just going over it with a little film of grey. Cold grey 3. That will tidy it up a bit. There you go. And she used to watch every morning. I mean, sadly, she's no longer with us. And then in the afternoon, she would spend the whole afternoon perfecting what we'd done in the morning. And her kids used to say to me, you never interrupted Pat in the afternoon or in the morning when she was doing her clarity homework in the afternoon, and she was studying it in the morning. And in the morning they would say, "Oh, don't disturb Mum now. She's learning." And then in the afternoon, "Don't disturb Mum now," because she's doing the artwork. I love that. I really love that. You know. And I know the kids said before she passed, they said she had the best time during lockdown. She was in her element as a creative, learning, doing, learning, doing. Nice. Now let's see, what have we got here? I've got another green. I'm going to tone down that lime. See, so now watch how easily I transform that cadmium yellow just by adding a little bit of sage over the top. Watch. Makes such a difference. It's Sally Ann Sprague's birthday today. Happy birthday, girlfriend. Earth green. There you go. So I would say, see, just that little toning down, a little bit of grey, a little bit of toning down, because that was a little bit bright yellow, wasn't it? Cadmium yellow. But it gives you a fantastic undercoat, doesn't it? See? Look, just over the top, just a little tiny film makes a big difference. Now, let me see what we got going on this week before I love you and leave you and get ready for this afternoon's big super duper launch, right? This afternoon, 2 o'clock, launch of its official spring, okay? And then join us at 2 o'clock and have a look at what we've got lined up for you, because this is going to be really brilliant. Then tomorrow, Tuesday, Groovy Tuesday with Louise, smashing. That'll be great. And then Wednesday, 1 and 3, 1 until 3, 1 to 3. 1,300 hours to 1,500 hours. I'm at Hobby Maker. Busy day Wednesday. That means that Paul and I are headed up to Hobby Maker, and we've got a 2-hour block, 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock. That'll be good. And we're going to be launching on Hobby Maker what we're sneak previewing today in our own community. So that'll be the official launch up there, and today's the official launch down here. So that's Wednesday. And then on Friday, we're back on track in here. Thursday, I'm spending the day with Mum because it's got to be done, and I wanted to go and see her. And then Friday, it's you and me, babe, back in here at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and Paul, of course. And we've got something really nice lined up for you then as well. So that'll be it. That's Friday the 13th. Not unlucky in this building. I was born on Friday the 13th. So that's it. That's what we're going to do. This is looking good. I'm going to add a little bit of grey in there. Look, a little bit of green as well. I like. See, I could spend hours doing this now, and I probably will. There you go, my friends. So, should we put some flowers in her hair? No, it's not hippie. But have a look at the colours that I've picked. Yeah. And I would say that the idea of using the Perga colours for the outline, see, that's the best part of all this. See, we haven't got an outline, have we? Do you see what I mean? We've got a little bit of a paper wrap. We've got that white going on there, and we're using like a sage green to get a bit of depth. But I'm not outlining. I'm deliberately not outlining. When I get a bit more time later on in the day, I may take this home and I may just finish this and post it. And I look for, because I want to put some more flowers in here. I'm going in with this colour and I'm going to just add shadow, not even flowers, but colours like this. Just spots of colour in here. And that's going to build the bouquet, but not actually a discernible flower, just dots and shades. Straight away, look, see how that's changing that? Yeah, so I'm just going to pop some colours in there, but I don't want to spoil it. I want to keep going with it nicely. It's looking good though. And then you see, if you want to add the shade, I'm going to go with a really light grey on this one, a light grey. I haven't got my light grey here. Me beige, me boring beige, which is warm grey too. There it is. Always within reach somewhere. You see, the beige is the one. If you want to add a shadow around the outside, it's the beige one, warm grey too, that will give us the sense that this is three-dimensional. So you just add a little tiny bit of a shadow there, like that, and that will change again. See? So you're just gonna, so it's that the positive, and so it's not so stark white around the edge. Yeah, nice. Right, but I'm not going to finish it now. I'm going to love you and leave you and get ready for this afternoon. Looks good though. I know, it's very addictive, this. But there you are, my friends. So I'm just going to lift a little bit of colour out where I've gone in too heavy. There we are. See, isn't that great that I can just take it out if I feel I've overcooked it? Nice. There we are. Good. Love it, love it, love it. Love the little girl. Love you. Have a great day. See you at 2 o'clock. Jilly, thanks for your help. And happy birthday, Sally Ann. Today is a